TG Geeks, episode 350, November 1st, 2021. Genie and more Genie. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com.
You're always walking over the end of that intro.
I know. Well, I don't know. Something happened to the sound. I had it.
Doesn't it? Didn't it used to fade?
It used to fade properly. I don't know what's wrong with it.
You're going to have to play with that and fix it.
Oh, well.
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post. Where are we?
We're in Phoenix, Arizona.
We're Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of geek demand nerdery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre, you name it. We talk about it. I'm Keith Liner. We're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona. Can you believe it is episode 350?
I know.
Holy cannoli.
I know. And I'm Ben Raggington coming to you from TG Squared Studios here in Phoenix, Arizona. Just also thinking 350. It was just 200 episodes ago that we had 150, and that's when we had our Podfather on.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's like, holy smokes. Where has the time gone?
7.5 years. So,
but it doesn't feel like it.
I know.
It really doesn't. I'm just completely, gobsmacked at this, that here we are, episode 350.
Smacked with a gob?
I know, and it's messy. Yeah, you had to take me there. And here we are, and it's November 1st by the time this episode comes out. That means we need to start stockpiling our holiday
We're going to start our holiday posts soon. So.
It's usually going to burn ourselves out by the time we get to
exactly
Christmas vacation.
There we go. Let's get on with it here.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the two gay geeks are discussing this.
Well, we have, as usual, on some of the big episodes, Gini Koch, author and extraordinaire. And then we have a birthday shout-out.
I should say it was in studio, and we were drinking.
Yes.
We had wine.
Again. And featured podcast of the week and feedback and shout outs. Do we have something in the second segment? I don't know.
Yeah, we do.
We may or may not have time.
We have a couple of things if we have the time.
And our wacky weekly recap and regular shout outs. So let's just get on with it. We actually, I just bought a new sound for Genie.
Genie has her own
She
intro
has her
music
own
now.
Intro music now. And we welcome back one of our favoritist people on the planet.
That's a new word.
Yes, favoritist.
We invented it for
And-
you.
Exactly. And she is an author extraordinaire. She is a contributor to our site occasionally, as well as a friend, and just all around great
Awesome person.
Gini
We
Koch.
adore her.
Oh, I
Gini
adore you
Koch,
guys
welcome
back.
back.
Thank you so much. I'm
so
always
happy
so
to-
happy. And I'm always so happy to be here.
We were
Well,
thrilled to have you in the studio
I'm glad
again.
to have you in.
Oh, me too.
Always and forever.
Lots of booze.
So
I know. It's like, do you want to come into the studio? Gosh, do you have to have 50,000 bottles of wine you're going to open? and
As
give
it
me?
happens, we do.
Yes.
Okay, I'm in.
And I get to hang out? Yes. Okay, it sounds great.
So, for those folks that don't know who the heck you are, why don't you give us your elevator pitch of your
Of who I am?
of who you are,
Of
and,
who I am and why you
know,
should love me and buy all my books?
and be sure that
Absolutely.
be sure that you tell them about Random Penguin House.
I will. The Random Penguin, which every author in Random House and Penguin begged for them to make it the Random Penguin, and they said no because we don't like you people, and it's Penguin Random House.
Random Penguin House, I'm telling you, it is burned into her brain. She
I
cannot
know.
help but talk about them.
Everybody loves the Random Penguin, and we're Penguin Random House. So I am Gini Koch. I write the Alien Katherine Kitty Cat series for DAW Books, which is part of Penguin Random House. I also write the Alexander Outland series as GJ Koch. I write the Necropolis Enforcement Files series as Gini Koch. The Martian Alliance Chronicles as Gini Koch. The New West series as A.E. Stanton, and I also write as J.C. Koch. I write horror. As Jemma Chase, I write paranormal. As Anita Ensal, I write everything else. And I'm probably forgetting a pen name because I write under so many. It's a control for schizophrenia, and I make it work for me.
And you're a therapist's dream.
I am.
Yes,
actually, I don't need therapy. That's why I write.
Your books are therapy. I've always wondered about that. If, because we've talked to a lot of authors.
We're all cray.
Well, yeah, I think.
No, we really are.
No, and I'm not saying that as derogatory. I think there has to be, in any kind of very creative endeavor, I think there's got to be a little bit of insanity. I think it's part and parcel with that chosen vocation. And I think that what a person does in terms of, contributing to that art form is their therapy.
My husband, I think, puts it best. He said, the whole thing about art and artists of all kinds, he says, you guys are walking and seeing worlds that the rest of us don't see. And you have to describe them to us. And that is he's like, you see worlds, artists see things, musicians hear things that none of the rest of us are seeing and hearing. And you have to interpret it so the rest of us can see and hear that. And yes, it is a form of insanity, but it can be an incredibly beautiful form of insanity.
I see dead people.
Yeah, well, yeah, me too.
I don't know what that says about you, honey.
I
see food.
I see characters. So yeah.
You hear characters in your
I do.
head.
Oh my gosh, they are very noisy. They are always very noisy.
We will get to that.
They've always been very noisy.
We will get to that.
We will. We will.
To the point of rewriting an entire book.
I'm on version 5. Kill me now.
Oh my God.
So
let's get to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
What got you into writing?
The voices in my head.
Okay,
Very
there you go.
seriously, they finally got so loud and so demanding that I started writing to shut them up. And I looked up 8 hours later, and I had 200 pages that were not great, but they were good enough, and I never looked back.
What made you? Okay, so now this begs the therapist question. What made you think I need to write this? Where you got the idea that writing would be the thing or the mechanism to silence them?
Okay, the reason I'm on the sane side of this whole discussion is that I always knew they were mine. Do you know what I mean? They weren't from somebody else. It wasn't, Son of Sam talking to me. I was creating these things in my head, and they were mine, and I knew it. So, and I could manipulate them, and I could make them do something. And when I was 15 and a half, I had an instructor who, even at 15 and a half, I knew was an idiot. But at the same time, she said, standing up in front of class, that the only way you can write is to outline. Well, outlining is great, and I believed her, okay? Outlining is great for term papers and for business proposals, and it did me really well through school and in my business career. But there are really multiple ways to write creatively, the three main ones, there are outliners. About a third of us outline, and they do it well, and they follow it from away.
Yeah, quite successful at it.
And then there are, like Diana Gabaldon, who writes the Outlander series. There are scene sewers. Diana sees her scenes. She writes her scenes in whatever order they come to her. And then when she's done writing all these scenes, she puts them in the correct order and sews them together.
Oh, that's an interesting
It is a very,
wow.
and ultimately as an author, you need to learn all three. And the third one is linear writers. I'm an extreme linear writer. I start with the title and then the first line, and when I get to the end, I stop. Okay,
So
and if I know what's happening, outlining for me is creative death. Because if I know what's happening, then the joy of discovery is gone. Linear writers are joy of discovery writers.
Right.
We want to find out what happens when the characters tell us what's happening.
So you're a pantser.
You're a pantser.
Yes, I hate that term. I hate that term.
Well,
because
the seat of your pants.
I find it insulting.
Yeah.
I'm a linear writer. Linear writers, really, we start, like I'm saying, we start at the start, and we follow the path along that the characters take us on.
I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a creative writer. I write articles, I write reviews, but I think in the same way. I mean, granted, if I'm watching a movie or I'm reading a book, I might think, okay, I might, there's certain ideas that pop into my head that say, I would like to mention this, I'd like to mention this. But it's very possible by the time I get to my review, none of that actually ever shows up.
Right.
I've written what I've written because I allow the article to write itself.
Yes. I let the characters tell me what's going on. And I think that's huge because the characters know better than you do, I think.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
I totally think that. So,
Well,
I mean,
they
when
know
I
where it's
started
going.
my first novel, which is
It's
in
their life.
Right, exactly. My first novel, which is in the Alien Katherine Kitty Katt series, is Touched by an Alien. And literally it felt like Kitty was dictating that story to me. And at a variety of points, including when she tells her name, which is not in the first chapter. She's like, my name is Katherine, Katt, Katt, and yes, before you ask, my parents call me Kitty. And I literally stopped writing. I turned away from the computer. I went, Kitty Katt? Seriously, Kitty Katt? And she's like, yeah, my parents have a sense of humor. Shut up and keep writing. Okay. And I did.
Exactly.
And I did. So Kitty tends, in most of my stuff, especially the first person books. So the Necropolis Enforcement Files series, Victoria is telling me what's going on. The Alexander Outland series, Alexander, or he prefers to be called Nap. Nap is telling me what's going on. In the Martian Alliance Chronicles, Dee Dee is telling me what's going on. So all my characters are telling me in the third person series, the different characters are telling me what's going on and allowing me to write it from a third person perspective so that I can get more stuff in.
We're friends with another author that I think you would love him, and that's Katie Edwards. And
But he's an extreme.
Oh, he's very extreme plotter. Yeah, he really outlines.
Yeah.
He has books and books and books and books
More
and books
power
and
to
books
him.
and-
That is oil and water to me.
but
it has spawned so much, and once it's come alive to him, it's like, oh my God, he can't stop writing.
No, he can't.
And all of
Everybody's
these
different.
one-off things are going on.
and I
It's
would-
gotten worse than that because I remember when the first time we interviewed him, and I asked him that question because I remember you once saying that you wouldn't trust an author where the voices don't talk to them.
Yeah.
And so I presented that to him during the very first interview. I said, do these characters talk to you? And he kind of said, well, no, not really. Well, I'm getting the last laugh because it turns out now they are. I do.
Happens.
Every time he has an unplanned line of dialogue,
Yep.
I say, guess what? Your characters are talking to you. Or he wrote a little short story that was bridging two major novels. He wrote this short story where this one character, and he didn't plan this, he said, and he wrote, this character took over and changed the story.
Yep. Okay. Book 9 in the Alien series, Alien Collective. Okay. Right. Benjamin Seiler originally does not even have a name.
Oh my
His
God.
whole reason for being there is to pretty much lock Kitty and Prince out of the embassy that they're at and let them back in and give them like a little bit of information so that Kitty can make the next leap she needs to make. And while this is happening, this character's like, yeah, no, I'm blending. She can't see me. This is a power. You should be excited. And I'm like, well, okay. So she's calling him the helpful servant. And all of a sudden he's like, no, I have a name. I'm vitally important. This character has bashed his way in from book 9. He has become a major supporting character. He is in every book from that point on, other than Alien Separation, because he doesn't go to the Alpha Centauri system with them because of why they're pulled. Okay. Everything else but that book he is in. In Aliens Like Us, book 17, I'm on version 5 of the rewrite. Please don't hate me. I swear to God, it's coming. It's coming. It's just, I needed to fix it.
We will discuss that later.
Seiler gets to go to the steampunk universe with Kitty.
Oh, wow.
Buchanan doesn't. Buchanan doesn't. Okay,
Oh my God.
Chucky doesn't. No, but it's like there's but Seiler's like, oh yeah, I'm going. When I was writing the short story Mr. Dash Saves the World, which is no longer in print but will be included in the Alien Collection, which is my collected short stories for the Alien universe.
I can't wait.
It's not done. The reason I'll tell you why the reason
We'll get to that. Don't worry about
yeah,
it.
we'll get to that. But anyway, in Mr. Dash Saves the World, Christopher was supposed to be Mr. Dash.
Oh, my.
And as I'm writing this from Lizzie's perspective, Siler saw it and subs and goes, Christopher's just going to be a pain in the ass to write. And
Whiny.
He's such a whiny little git, and he's not really, who is this? I am Mr. Dash. I'm like, no, you're. He's like, yes, I am. I'm like, well, Christopher's the fastest man in the world. He's like, yeah, but to Lizzie, I'm faster. I'm still an alien. I'm faster than anything else. And I belong here. She needs me. I need her.
Yes.
And
yes.
Siler bashed his way in. This is the pushiest character I've ever written. I've written some pushy characters.
Wow.
Preacher in the Belladonna series, Preacher bashed his way through and said, I'm actually the real love interest, in case you weren't clear. It's like, oh, I'll rewrite that then, won't I? Right? Okay, so I've had pushy characters. Preacher was
a note
pushy.
on that.
Nothing's been pushier. No one. There's no character I've ever written pushier than Siler. He is the pushiest character I've ever written, and people love him. I love him. Okay, people love him. It's like, people love Buchanan. Buchanan's awesome, but people... And they love Martini, they love Kitty, they love Christopher.
I do love Christopher.
People do love Christopher, and they're allowed. That's why he's still alive.
Jesus!
I was ready to kill him in book 4. Okay?
I know you were. I'm glad you
4.
didn't.
Oh my God! My agent and editor said you can't kill Christopher. I'm like, I can and I will. And they're like, you cannot. We forbid it. I'm like, hey! He's like, he's a fan favorite. 50% of your fan base loves him. I'm like, why? And they're like, because you wrote him so well. It's like, I'm a fool. So, anyway,
so is that it?
Christopher has worked his way back. I mean, Christopher knew
he
as a character,
redeemed himself.
As a character, Christopher knows that I wanted to kill him. So this character has been, don't kill me. Don't kill me. I've got so much to offer.
I am valuable.
I've got so much to offer.
Oh, so he's kissing up to you.
Wisely. Proving he's not an idiot. Yes. So actually, Christopher is very important, or the Christopher in the steampunk universe is very important to aliens like us. So yeah. So, and Christopher is actually very important in the others. So I mean, he remains an important character. No, I'm not killing him because no one will let me. Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our writer's therapy session for today. But let's talk about what you're working on now.
Okay, so what I'm working on right now, well, there's several things. Okay, first of all, what my most recent release is in the Derelict anthology from Zombie Needs Brains, and that is my story is Saving Sally Ruth, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, but I want to press and say that Zombie Needs Brains currently has another Kickstarter going for their next 3 anthologies. One is noir, so science fiction and fantasy with a noir bent. That is going to be so cool. Breaking the Glass Slipper, which is fractured fairy tales, basically telling a fairy tale a different way, and Brave New Worlds, which is what I'm in. So that Kickstarter is going right now, and as we're recording this, I still have 2 Tuckerizations left. There's 1 Tuckerization left to get you into my Brave New World story, and I have an Alien series Tuckerization. So if you'd like to be an Aliens like us, now's your chance.
Hey now.
Okay, and most people, Tuckerizations, for those that don't know, I don't remember, I think it was Charles Tucker. I could have his first name wrong, but his last name was Tucker, and he was a science fiction and fantasy writer, and he started putting his friends in as minor characters that he would then kill off. Yeah. And that's what's considered a Tuckerization. So somebody pays for the opportunity, because it helps fund the Kickstarter, to be in our stories. Now, most authors kill their Tuckers. I tend to keep mine around. Yeah. And they become, in many cases, major supporting characters. Well, so I'm just saying.
I have mine. I actually thought it was going to be Chef. But...
Which is hilarious. I know,
I did too.
I know, but Chef doesn't even have a name.
I know.
So you're way more important.
You raved about Keith's cooking. That's why I was so sure it was Chef.
Keith is a fabulous chef, but he's not Chef, and he's not P-Chef. You're this cool character. I mean, I'm like, sorry.
We didn't know anything about him, but all we know is that Kitty loved Chef's cooking. So I I was so sure it was Keith.
That's all
I
we
know.
were going on.
I
And
know.
then all of a sudden I show up and it's, there
yeah.
I am.
There you
that
are. You're
person.
like, that's who I am. Yeah. Yeah, you're the only people that complain about your Tuckers. Yeah, Ben's like, what?
I'm an otter?
I'm an otter? I'm like, what's wrong with that, my lad? Okay. So it's like
be
you're
an
the
otter.
cutest otter. You are an otter. Don't even try to pretend. You are like the definition of otter.
I guess I am.
Okay.
In
the
gay
community,
circles, yes,
you are an
I
otter.
am an otter.
You're an otter. I don't even
Who
know why.
knew?
I don't even know why you're questioning the King Benny comparison. So sometimes
Okay, so there it is.
Right,
I'm
okay,
an otter.
Right, okay. You're King Benny. He's the most adorable thing on the planet.
And
Okay.
King Benny is a cool character.
He is so adorbs. Okay.
So I'm King Benny in the book.
Anyway.
Yes. And so sometimes it will say, usually if someone scores a Tucker in the Alien series, it is not usually because they've earned the right. It's because it is 3 a.m. and I need names. And I need names desperately. And I am going through my Facebook feed going, haven't used that yet, haven't used that yet, haven't used that yet, haven't used that yet. So
Oh my gosh, there's a name that I like.
isn't it that I like? It's like, okay. So there's like a giant swath of fan friends who are in Alien in Chief because I was 3 a.m. and I could not move on my exciting train sequence unless I had names.
Oh my gosh.
And so I just went through. So, to all you people, everybody's like, I'm in. I'm like, you are, because I was talking to you and you were in my friends list high up. Yeah. I mean, there are 24 people.
Unfortunately, that train crashed.
Yeah, well, but they all survived. Kitty saved them all, right? She did, too.
She did save them.
She saved them all. But literally, all those people are like, I'm so excited. I'm like, you are just lucky that you had sent a message to me in the last 2 weeks. Because that is what happened. You were talking to me on Facebook. Because I literally went through and it's like, yes, 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 have used that name. So sorry. Yes, 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 have used that name. So sorry. Yes, yes. I just went through. And as soon as I hit enough names, I could stop. But it was very, names are hard, and I still thank the people. I put out a call a few years ago for I need names that sound alien for either planets
Right.
or people. You're never going to get a shout out because I'm never going to remember who did it, but thank you so much. I got easily
I'm sure you got
100.
inundated.
I did. It was wonderful. It was the best. I'm still using, I have those all that stuff listed, and I'm still using it. It doesn't just go in the Alien series. They're in Alexander Outland. They're in Martian Alliance. They're in everything. Anything where I need a name, I'm like, oh, let's see about that. This is wonderful. Let's go there.
Yeah.
So,
It's
names are
amazing
hard.
what an author's fandom can do for a
Oh
person.
my gosh, names are so hard. I'm always so grateful when someone gives me a good one.
And by the way, the Kickstarter is still going for 10 days.
Yes.
As of publication.
As a publication of this
Yes.
episode.
We will have the link in the show notes.
Oh,
for
thank you so
folks
much. And I've just got to say, there's
do
tons.
that.
It's not just Tuckerization. There's tons of reward levels.
Yep.
There's lots of free extras, including some books of mine that you get if we hit certain levels. And the Zombie Needs Brains, they're publishers. They're wonderful to work with. From an author standpoint, they're fabulous. Wonderful editing, wonderful covers. They pay us royalties. We really like that. They pay well, everything else. And from a reader standpoint, you get these wonderful anthologies filled with great stories.
Yeah.
And in addition to buying them for the authors you like, read some of the shorts and find new authors that you're going to love.
Oh, absolutely.
Because,
My
I mean,
Lord.
it's just there's so much good content and so much good talent in all three. I can't wait. If I actually, in my copious spirit, manage to get in, I have a couple of stories that I want to submit to Breaking the Glass Slipper. I don't know that I'll make it in time for deadlines, but because the story I'm contracted for is more important. But I mean, these three are going to be so good. So good. You want in.
So is there anything else that you got coming out? There's a few minutes that we got left. Anything else
Yes,
in the very near
Silence
future?
in the City is another anthology that is already funded on Kickstarter. Should be out in October if we all turn in on time. And my story in that is going to be my prequel story to my New West series.
Oh, very good.
Yes, so that's going to be very
about
exciting.
these anthologies. Once they have reached their
Their goal?
on the Kickstarter or wherever they are, Are they available after that fact? Do they print more?
Well, what happens in the Kickstarter goals are we need this amount of funding in order to produce this. And then especially in the case of Zombie Needs Brains, if we get more funding, if we hit the right funding levels, they'll do a 4th anthology. In fact, I looked at our reward levels. They'll do a 5th anthology.
Okay. A 5th what?
Anthology. We're on our 4th bottle of wine. I just want to say 4th bottle. Anyway, they'll do a 5th anthology too. And stop it, you. Stop it, you otter, you. And so it's great, not only because you'll get those as one of the people supporting the anthology, but it gives more authors more chances to write stories that you, the readers, can enjoy, and you, aspiring authors, have another opportunity to send in. It's like, okay, here's a new theme. Here's a new this. Here's a new that. So there's lots of reasons to go. Plus, the higher it funds, the more freebies everybody gets.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing that I've learned is that as far as the independent creator market goes, is that there's so much talent out there.
Oh my gosh,
that a lot that people just don't know about. So this kind of opportunity is such a great thing.
Yeah, and it's people that now you have it good because you have an agent, you have somebody that a great publisher.
Yeah,
I
have great publishers,
and all of this stuff. But sometimes folks don't write what publishers want to see,
but that does not discount the quality of their work.
Correct. And that's one of the things. I mean, Kickstarter. Honestly, Kickstarter is what is keeping anthologies alive.
Yeah.
Because the big publishers, there are very few anthologies. They need to be themed. They need to be attached to a work for hire property. Like I was in X-Files. And so that funded that didn't need funding. That was bought by a publisher. Okay.
Right.
Because, it's the X-Files. I've written an official X-File per Chris Carter. Yes.
Good
that
for
was
you.
a personal goal. So I'm in the Trust No One version they had 3, not Kickstarter, 3 X-Files anthologies. I'm in the first one, Trust
cool.
No One. And those were out a few years ago, but they're still available. So, when you've got a property like that, yes, a publisher's like, absolutely, let's do some stuff. But when it's just, I want to write story about Brave New Worlds, you need a small publisher like Zombie Needs Brains or UFO Press, which I do a lot of other things with.
Or smaller presses.
You need these smaller presses, and the only way they can get the funding to do it is via Kickstarter. So Kickstarter is just a boon to anthologies. Anthologies would
and
be
you get
dying
some
off.
neat stuff.
You get
swag. You get to
stuff.
read stuff that it's
Wonderful
like,
stuff.
oh my God, you've discovered this new author that you never knew existed.
Exactly. And it's wonderful. And it's a great way. And Zombie Needs Brains does their best to and so does UFO Press, to find new voices, somebody who's never been published before, and their first publication is in one of their anthologies. This is a big deal. And it's very exciting. So, as much as you can support Kickstarter anthologies, please do.
So with all of that, we're hitting up against the red line. So where can people learn more about you, and where can they find your work?
Okay, my website, www.ginikoch.com. That's GINIKOCH.com. I am on Facebook and Twitter far more than I should be. I am on Pinterest and supposedly on Instagram, but I can't make it work, so please don't expect any excitement over there.
On TikTok?
Hell no.
I'm
sorry. Was that my hot voice?
Your Tourette's was showing.
No, Tourette's was showing, yeah. No, I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on anything that requires me to make videos, because that is a lot of time. And so ask yourselves, would you like me to spend time making a TikTok video, or would you like me to write the next book, short story, novella,
we want to see
novelette?
Jeannie shaking her booty.
Oh my God, I want books.
You can see that anytime.
I want books.
It takes nothing
Just go to
make
a
me
con.
shake. Yeah, just go to a con.
Can people find you on social media by way of your website?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Super. Well, thank you so much, Jeannie.
Thank you.
It's
As
always a pleasure.
Always a delight.
I love being here. I love you guys. So thank you.
You don't need to hear their identification. They're the two gay geeks. They can go about their business. Move along.
And I have a new sound for our birthday music.
Oh, really? Oh, my God, no. You'd pick that?
Yeah.
Well, since it does run ad infinitum. But I sense you're doing this to drive me mental. Yeah.
I'll put it down in the background now.
Otherwise, you won't be able to talk over it.
Exactly. But I like it. It's cool. I dance in my chair.
He does, ladies and gentlemen. I saw him do it earlier.
Okay, here's a few selected birthdays for November 1st through November 7th, 2021. November 1st, Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, came out in 2014, is actually a fitness enthusiast, and one of the reasons, I think, is his misdiagnosis of multiple sclerosis in 1996.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He said that it made him see the world in a very different way.
I think he was the first out gay CEO.
Yep, a Fortune 500 company, yep. And there's not much publicly shared for him. He says that he seeks to achieve a basic level of privacy.
Well, he's kind of achieved it.
Yeah.
I know that he's in a very long-term relationship. I don't know if they're married or not. Probably are.
Yep.
But that's all we know.
Yep. And then there's Robert Foxworth, actor. He's that guy who's been in everything, and you always say, "Who is that?"
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's been in Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine, B5,
in Babylon 5, and
Enterprise,
he's
SG-1.
SG-1. But I think what's the thing that, well, I actually was first introduced to him in a Roddenberry show called The Quester Tapes, that movie. But I think what's most important is who he was married to.
Yes, he was married to Elizabeth Montgomery until her death. Yes, they lived together for 20-some-odd years before they got married. And he'd just been... the list goes on of things that he's been in. Mm-hmm. He was... oh, gosh, I can't remember. There was a Dynasty spin-off thing.
The Colbys.
The Colbys or something. Anyway.
He was just in the Colbys?
And
I don't remember that.
I don't know. It was one of those crazy shows that was evening soap operas.
He might have been in it. Okay. I don't remember him in the Colbys, but yeah, I've only saw that show once.
Yeah. And then we have Victoria de Los Angeles, opera singer during the 50s and 60s. She died at the age of 81 in Barcelona.
Oh, wow.
She was from Spain. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about her just the other day. She did the Songs of the Auvergne by Cantaloupe, which as did Anamofo.
Right.
And there are a couple of pieces that she has done that I like better than Anamofo, and that's simply because I've never heard Anamofo sing those.
Well, that's hardly a basis for comparison.
I do like Anamofo's interpretation on most of them.
Yes,
taking nothing away from Victoria.
And I don't, I don't take any
voice.
Exactly, I don't take anything away from her.
Job.
Because we've heard some arias and such, because she was a lovely coloratura soprano, and we've heard some, bel canto type arias that she did along, I'm not going to say at the same time, but the same kind of arias that Lily Pons did, and I've always found Victoria to be far superior.
Yeah, well, it's bel canto.
Don't tell it to my brother.
Can't stand him.
Yeah, he'll come in.
Anyway,
like, canto.
Remember,
round
tones. Bel canto.
Boy, did we just cross the streams there?
November 2nd, and that's from Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
If you don't know, which is a wonderful film, you should see it. November 2nd, Keith Emerson, keyboardist, most famously for
keyboardist extraordinaire.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and just a fabulous,
brilliant.
Keyboardist. Yes.
And yeah, you got to see ELP in concert with me.
Yep.
And I remember we walked out and you said that was one of the best concerts you had ever been to.
Yeah, it was. At that time.
Yeah. Since then we saw Queen.
Yes. And then Sidney Luftballoons.
Oh, I don't think so.
Sidney Luft. That's a producer. He was producer of Star is Born with Judy Garland and then married her. And they had 2 children, Lorna and Joey. Then we have a friend of ours, Brian Augustin, a wonderful editor, comic book writer.
Oh, the man is
crazy man.
Bon vivant, as he likes to call it, refer to himself.
And Nadine, they're just
they're lovely
wonderful
people. I love them both.
Excuse me. And then,
okay. Well, then there's Keith is having a problem here.
Dang.
And then we got
I just choked on myself.
Yeah, that's good. Jeremy
Reisenhoover, who I knew since the 2nd grade.
Yeah.
Died just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, sadly. Lovely.
Of cancer.
Lovely guy. Got to meet him when we went back to Oklahoma for your reunion. But he was a force of nature when we met him.
Well, always has been. Always
just
was.
Loud and just hi. And when he hugged you, he nearly broke your back. Yep. But lovely person.
And November 3rd, Jim Cummings, voice actor, mostly over. He has been in one film as himself, as Jim Cummings. I didn't write down what it was, but most of his career has been Disney and Looney Tunes. And he was Ray in The Princess and the Frog. He does the voice of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And family of the late Louis Prima sued Disney because he did too good a job as King Louis in the Jungle Book.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we have Dolph Lundgren, actor, Rocky IV, Masters of the Universe, Arrow on TV.
Oh my God. Well, Arrow he was good in.
A bunch of stuff.
I liked him a lot in Arrow. I thought he was great. He-Man, Masters of the Universe, I'm sorry, that movie just needs to be erased from history.
Yeah, well. And then he's got like 6 projects in production, as a lot of people do. He was once a bodyguard for Grace Jones.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, although I can't imagine although she would have a bodyguard, it's got to be somebody who's bigger and stronger than her.
He's 6'5".
Because Grace Jones herself is terrifying.
Exactly.
She'll claw your eyes out if you're not careful. So there's only one person on the planet who is probably tougher than her, and that'd be Dolph Lundgren.
And then we have Facebook friend of ours, Lazarus Mitchell, and then Vicki Harrison Parker, a former classmate of mine, and Jan Dahl.
Oh, happy birthday, Jan. She's the lovely lady who helped us get TG Squared Studios.
Yes.
The building.
This
house.
Helped us buy our home, yes. November 4th, Will Rogers, humorist, vaudeville performer, born of Cherokee parents in Indian Territory in 1879. Mm-hmm. Made 71 films. Known a lot for his... as a vaudeville performer that spun off into his film career.
Yeah, he kind of carried that with him.
Tricks.
Yeah, he carried that character into his film persona.
And died sadly in 1935 in a plane crash with Wiley Post in Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh, died too soon.
Yep. Walter Cronkite, he would have just been beside himself with World War II. I mean, one was bad enough, but everything during World War II, he would have just been beside himself. Walter Cronkite, newsman for CBS News, was the evening anchor for 19 years.
I think when you talk about, especially our generation, I mean, obviously not now, but our generation, if you want to talk about the face of evening news, you automatically think of Walter Cronkite.
For the most part, yes. We watched ABC with
did too.
Howard K. Smith, but everybody knew Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, how do you not know who Walter Cronkite was?
Exactly.
I mean, he even made his way into pop culture by he had a summer series that was a science show.
Yeah,
and he produced it. And the only reason I bring that up is because it featured my brothers in it.
Oh, interesting. And he covered everything from the assassination of Kennedy to the moon landings.
Oh, yeah.
His catchphrase was, and that's the way it was on such and such date. Ralph Macchio, actor, the Karate Kid.
He's still 12.
Exactly. Now Cobra Kai.
Good show. And he is still a very good actor.
And Facebook friend and opera composer Darren Hagen. November 5th, Tilda Swinton, actress.
Oh my God,
it's
I love her.
amazing how much she has done. Oh my God. I love.
She's a workaholic.
I love that she doesn't shy away from quirky characters.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
No,
in fact,
I
that's
love
kind
that.
of her thing is the quirkier the better that she can make it. You know.
I'm the one role that immediately comes to mind, and you're gonna be surprised. This is actually in Suspiria, the remake, and how she had 2 roles in that.
Exactly.
One of them was as a man.
Yep.
And I remember I didn't realize it until like halfway through the movie, and I thought there was a word that she said as in that makeup, and I thought, wait a minute, I know who that is. Yep. I think that's Tilda Swinton.
Well, she's played a man in like 5-6 different films.
Well, this is the first movie that I know of where she did it, at least that I've seen.
It has 7 projects in production. Was considered for Madame Trelawney at one point.
Really?
In Harry Potter. Yeah.
She might have been good in that, although I want to stick with Emma on that one.
Yep.
I think Emma was much better. But that would have been interesting. It would have been a totally new interpretation.
Exactly.
And we have to acknowledge The Dead Don't Die.
Oh, yes. Oh my God.
She steals the movie.
She does. Literally.
She literally steals the film.
Didn't see that coming.
Nobody said. Was that in the script? No, I didn't see that in the script.
Then we have Sam Rockwell, actor, another who gets a lot of quirky parts.
But a very versatile actor.
Yep. He played Bob Fosse in Fosse and Verdon.
Yes, he did.
And just so many different acting things that
we
he's
know
done.
him mostly for the quirky stuff, but he's a phenomenal dramatic actor. Yep. I remember him being in Frost Nixon, and as a journalist, and he was fantastic in it.
Yep. He worked as a bicycle delivery boy for a Mexican restaurant.
Oh my God!
Way back when.
Boy, he certainly made a name for himself.
Yep. Armin Shimmerman, actor, best known as Quark on DS9.
Yep.
When the first DS9 action figures were released, he did an ad as Quark.
Oh, did he?
In his bar.
Oh, I love it.
He would pick up each figure and quickly talk about it.
Oh, I have to see this commercial. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. I got to find it now.
Yep. Natalie Schaefer, actress. Do you recognize the name?
I do recognize the name, but I can't place it.
She's most famous for a show that her intro in the show's theme song was "And His Wife." Gilligan's Island.
Oh my goodness. She
was Lovey.
She was Lovey. Yeah.
Yep, she was Mrs. Howell. She was the oldest of the cast and died at 91 in 1991.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, she was and did a bunch of things in the 40s and 50s.
Oh, I imagine. There's something very glamorous about her.
Yeah, she was incredible. And then we have friend of ours, Tiffany Mangan, and author Jake Biondi.
Happy birthday.
November 6th, Sally Field.
You
actress.
like me. You really like me.
What do you say about Sally Field?
Another chameleon.
Yep.
She is fantastic. She can do anything.
From The Flying Nun to Smokey and the Bandit to Soap Dish. And her
very dramatic roles in the middle.
Her role in Brothers and Sisters.
Oh,
of
she
Nora
was
Walker
wonderful.
Was incredible.
She was delightful in that, but Soap Dish will always be my favorite. I mean, she's so hilarious in it.
Yes. You put me in a turban.
I look like Gloria Swanson.
Exactly. Her youngest son is openly gay, and she is very supportive and even won the HRC Award for Ally for Equality in 2012.
She is a lovely human being.
Incredible.
I adore her.
Jonathan Harris, actor, Lost in Space. His colorful put-downs of the robot were mostly
improvised.
Unscripted.
Yeah, he made them up.
Mentor to Bill Mumy, and was the oldest of the cast in Lost in Space.
Oh, that's not a surprise.
He was 50 when they started filming that.
Oh my goodness! And he was originally only supposed to be like in the first few episodes. But
exactly.
He really resonated with the crowd.
Oh my gosh! And then did so many different things. several of his voiceover roles, Manny in The Bug's Life,
Yes.
and several other things. Oh my! It's so wonderful to know that he was still acting, even in his twilight
and
years.
he kind of lampooned himself a little bit as Manny. He made some Dr. Smith references. Oh, the pain! I know, it was hilariously funny. There's a lovely anecdote. If you find the bonus material for A Bug's Life, there's a great roundtable conversation with John Lasseter, Andrew Stanton. A few other people are there, and Andrew talks about how there was a screening for A Bug's Life that I think was in England, and they all got to go except for Andrew. He couldn't go, and Andrew Stanton was a diehard Lost in Space geek.
Oh my!
And he wanted to meet Jonathan Harris, and he had to stay back because I think he was working on another project for Pixar. And then, so I guess Lasseter and company decided to have Harris call, and he spoke to him on the phone. And the way Andrew Stanton describes that scene with Jonathan Harris over the phone is hilariously funny, but it shows what a wonderful person Jonathan Harris was.
Yeah. And then Edsel Ford, son of Henry Ford, ran the company until his death in 1943 of stomach cancer. It was the namesake for one of my favorite cars.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Edsels. They only lasted 3 years, but oh my God.
Well, they're certainly unique.
Incredible cars. I mean, there was something about them, the style of them, just, I want an Edsel. Actually, I want a red Edsel wagon.
Yes, you do.
And an Airstream trailer to pull behind it. And then we have Facebook friend of ours, Andrew Cash. November 7th, Joan Sutherland, opera singer, discovered Pavarotti. She was a dramatic coloratura.
Whoa.
Like, I picked up Victor Borge's cacolatura.
Yeah, you did. A dramatic coloratura. That's almost a contradiction.
Almost, but that's what they give as her.
Because most
singing
dramatic
type.
sopranos are not coloraturas. At least they're not described as that.
Well, she did a lot of bel canto.
She did lots of bel canto at the request of her husband, Richard Bonning.
Yep. And she died in 2010 at the age of 83. She was quite the larger-than-life character. She really was.
The only thing larger than her life was her hair.
Exactly. And then we have Marie Curie. Scientist, was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize. Her research in radioactivity likely was the cause.
It was the cause of her death.
Eventual cause of her death.
Hers and her husband's.
She discovered radium in that process. That was her research, you know, and discovered radium in the process. And then we have friends of ours, Sungjin Park and Keith Byron.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to all of you. And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Hi, this is Kevin.
And this is Jason.
And we're the co-hosts of The Bright Side with Kevin and Jason, your weekly comedy about tragedy.
Every week, I teach Kevin about some tragic event in history, and then we find the bright side to it.
And every week, I learn from Jason something I wish I never knew.
You can find our podcast anywhere you find podcasts.
That's The Bright Side with Kevin and Jason, your weekly comedy about tragedy.
Go give a listen to our friends, Jason and Kevin.
I just love those two
over
guys.
At
They're
the Bright
awesome.
Side podcast. Exactly.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
This is a shout out to the Joshua Tree Feeding Program. We do this on every episode because we believe in their mission. They're a 501c3 nonprofit food pantry for the HIV and AIDS community in Maricopa and Pinal counties. They offer a place where the clients can select from a wide assortment of nutritional foods to take home, and they set it up just like a store so that the clients can pick and choose the foods they want and empowers them to take only what they want so no food is wasted. They also have a second distribution day for those in the gender nonconforming community that may be experiencing food insecurity, regardless of their HIV status. They're an all-volunteer organization, but they could certainly use your help. And you can do that by going to jtfp.org, and you can give a single or a monthly recurring gift. Please support Joshua Tree Feeding Program.
And it's time for our feedback. I'm going to have to race through this because we spent a lot of time on the birthday segments. These are comments that we received in response to articles and episodes that we ran on our website at teachgeeks.com. And the links for each of these articles or show notes that generated this feedback will be in the show notes for this episode, which you will find at tggeeks.com, episode number 350. Starting with, regarding episode 347, we got a comment from AJ Sloan, or on Facebook, he refers to himself as Sloan AJ, saying thank you. It was probably birthday comment. Got a comment from Pia Thrasher. She left this for us on Instagram, and we had just seen her in San Diego just before this. That's why she writes, "It was so good to catch up with you at Neil and Jana's anniversary lunch. What a fun surprise to see you there." And it was a delight. And we got a comment from Blackstone Publishing because we interviewed David R. Slayton in this episode, and they say, "We love it. David is so great to talk to," and they're right. Moving on, regarding TG Geeks episode number 348, we got a comment from Hamish Downey saying, "So I'm glad you had a great chat. I'm looking forward to listening." And that's because we interviewed, oh my goodness, who did we interview that day? Mark Rosendorf.
Yes, because Hamish had done
he did a five questions
with. Yeah.
Right. Moving on, and because we mentioned F. Murray Abraham's birthday in that episode, we got a comment from Corey Lynn Nelson. She left this for us on our website, saying, "You mentioned F. Murray Abraham in this episode about his birthday. I happened upon the series Mythic Quest on Apple TV+. Liking the show a lot, but my jaw dropped when I saw F. Murray Abraham as one of the regular cast members. Love that he took on this role as a story writer for the show's online game. Check it out." You know what? I think we just might. Moving on. Regarding Ben's breakdown, The Electrical Life of Louis Wayne gives beautiful and moving insight into autism. We got a comment from Stephanie Weipert. She says, "I think I found what to watch next. Thanks, TG Squared Studios." And we close this off regarding Hamish Downey's news, Sushi number 119, Morsels of News from Japan and Beyond. Hamish left this for us. "I hope people enjoy my spooky news sushi," and that is our feedback.
And you can leave a comment too if you want to. You can do that on Facebook page or tggeeks.com. You can also check out Twitter and Instagram, where you can comment on our episodes and everything we publish. You can also do comment on YouTube, where we publish the episodes. You can also leave us a voicemail if you want. You can call 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice. We are huge supporters of independent creators, whether it's filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others. Please buy their stuff, talk to them, talk to other people about them, and please consider supporting independent creators. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-0000. 6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Wow, we don't have time.
Well, we'll just say we saw the Fab Four.
Oh my God.
The group that is the best Beatles tribute.
In my opinion.
We had originally seen them at Disneyland way back at Tomorrowland Terrace, and we followed them forever and ever.
Yeah.
And saw them, and then Ben's going to have a 3 episodes thoughts for Midnight Mass on
Netflix
tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be running.
so
Yeah, it'll be running on Tuesday.
Check it out.
And it's time for our weekly review. These are items that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com this past week, and the links for each of these articles will be in the show notes for this episode number 350 at tggeeks.com. Starting with Sunday, October 24th, Nerdy Chupacabras number 71. On Monday the 25th, TG Geeks episode number 349. On Tuesday the 26th, Arizona Opera's The Copper Queen film is heartbreakingly beautiful. Lovely review written by my wonderful husband, Keith. On Wednesday the 27th, Anna Taylor-Joy performs Downtown Downtempo from the Last Night in Soho soundtrack. Oh my God, people, check that out. It is so good.
I love that song.
Loved it. On Wednesday, also on the 27th, Lightyear teaser trailer arrives from Pixar, and I just want to say, you can't imagine how many gay men on social media are referring to the Buzz Lightyear as their daddy now, especially that Chris Evans' voice in the character. Yeah. On Thursday, the 28th, Andrea's Angle, Last Night in Soho, stunning and brilliant. That's her review of the film. On Friday, the 29th, Hamish Downey's new Sushi number 120, Morsels of News from Japan and Beyond. And then on Saturday the 30th, Lionsgate announces Moonfall in theaters February 2022. We have some shout-outs that we need to make. First, to Brian Weber, our good friend Arkle. He's on Twitter known as Geek of All Trades. You can also find him there as Brian the Ampersand List YouTuber. He has his Arkle Times Post-Dispatch news. It is there, and we mention this because he republishes our content there from time to time. Also, while you're looking for all things Arkle, go to his YouTube channel, Arkle Studios. He has a number of projects there. His Shameless Cash Grab series, which, yes, has wrapped Season 6, but you can always look at it. His Rants vs. Zombie series, that too is officially ended, but you can always listen to past episodes, and he also has there his Arkled tier ranks, as well as his game videos of Trick and Treat and Star Trek Online. We must also give some shout-outs to a couple of Facebook groups for allowing us to share our present and past episodes.
Our probably people about.
I was going to say our past episodes and our present episodes as well as relevant articles. First, to Gay Geeks After Hours. You can find them at facebook.com/group/Gay Geeks After Hours, and then to The Gay Geek, facebook.com/group/The Gay Geek, and we give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
And thank you, Jeremiah. Other places we can be found are Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Sci-Fi Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays, and listen to their other content. They are a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We don't want Arkle to have more than us. Just kidding, Brian. That should do it for this episode.
Yeah, you can have more than us.
TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We're going to have several links on the page of things we talked about. And remember, you can comment on a Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357 from TG Squared Studios. I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated. Peace.
Cheers.